Today, I'm gonna get real with you guys. I'm gonna share with you exactly what it takes to get your dream life. Okay, I know that sounds super personal development-y, self-helpy, guru-y, but look, I'm an executive communication coach. I'm not a self-help guru, but in order to level up your communication skills, which is what a lot of you are here for, you need something called an identity shift. Now, this is what's called a universal principle. A universal principle is a set of guidelines and rules and formulas that once you follow have an inevitable outcome. For example, let's break it down to a success principle. One success principle that many of you may have heard is the more value you add, the more you'll receive, which makes sense. Provide more value and more people will give back to you as well. Another success principle that you may have heard of is your network becomes your net worth. You become the average of the 5 people you spend most time with. You've heard of that, yeah? Of course, everybody's heard of that. Now there are deeper rules. There are deeper principles which have been deemed esoteric and occult. And I'm going to share one of them with you today. And I share it with a hint of sadness within me, for I know, unfortunately from experience, that it is unlikely that any of you will actually put this into practice. I don't mean that to be triggering or controversial or provocative. I mean it to be real. For who actually practices a genuine shift in identity? Now let's talk about it. Let me talk about exactly what I mean. When I was driving here on one of these beautiful Dubai roads the other day with my wife, I had a crazy realization. I looked at her and I said, "Babe, do you realize that I'm living my dream life? That we are living our dream lives? I just had lunch with a client who's paying me thousands of dollars. I'm in my brand new car. We're driving on our way to a podcast that I'm being featured on. We're living in Dubai. Things are amazing. I just flew my whole family from Australia to visit us. Alhamdulillah, praise be to God, things are amazing." What was once an aspiration had become description. And that is the goal that many of you should aspire towards, which is turning your aspirations into descriptions. Now, again, this is not a motivational talk. Let's talk about exactly how to do it in terms of formula. I want to talk about the feeling of the new identity, the feelings of the wishes fulfilled. Before buying, I'll just use the car as an example because it's easy to illustrate. Before buying my current SUV, which I love, I felt the leather of the steering wheel before going to sleep, before buying it, before owning it. I could smell the scent of the car in my meditations before sitting in it. I could see it in my driveway before it was there. I could feel the relief and confidence of having a certain number in my bank account before it was there. I felt the confidence and gratitude of having a massive impact on millions of people on social media before my Instagram blew up. This is not merely wishful thinking. This is a strategic formula that once you follow, your dreams will come true. Your dreams will not merely be dreams. They'll become realities that you simply catch up to. In fact, a more accurate way of explaining that would be, or wording that would be, you stepping into the identity of who you need to be to achieve your goals. And it's not you who catches up to that reality. It's the universe that catches up to you. When you live in the feeling of the wishes fulfilled, the universe has no choice but to rearrange itself to match your new energetic state. That's the formula. Again, how many of you are going to put this into practice? If you have any questions about this, leave it in the comments. I'm curious to see how much interest there is for a topic like this anyway. Now you might be wondering, all right, cool, well, Shako, those are your goals. Buying a car, having impact on social media, yada yada. What about my communication skills? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how you can transform your communication skills and your social status with this formula of living in the new identity, feeling the sense of the wishes fulfilled. I have many clients who are executives, who are in higher management, and who are entrepreneurs doing really well. Yet, when they go into meetings, they overthink. When they go into meetings, they have self-doubt. They have imposter syndrome that comes up. The way that I encourage them to practice this formula, which I'm sharing with you now, is the following. You need to sit down every day and practice, train yourself to understand, it's not a mental game, it's an emotional game. You need to train yourself to feel what it feels like to be grounded, to be charismatic, to be confident. I'm going to give you something very, very practical. Do this, do the mental rehearsal of your ideal situation in bed as you're falling asleep. This is akin to self-hypnosis, because at the end of the day, what is hypnosis? For anybody who's tried it, they would know that the hypnotist first gets you into a deeply relaxed state where you are impressionable. When you're in a deeply relaxed state, they call it theta. That is when your subconscious mind, which is what drives you, is most impressionable to new ideas and new thoughts and emotions. So as you're drifting off to sleep, guys, I am giving you the source right now. I swear to God, you can achieve whatever you want if you just pay attention to this and apply it. I'm living proof of this, and I continue to do so. Year after year, watch me. As you're falling asleep, you're in this relaxed state. You now not only think about the ideal version of your life, but you be it. For example, let's say you want to live in a much larger house. Again, it doesn't have to be materialistic. I'm just using these for the sake of example because it's easy to follow. Let's say you want to buy a $3 million house and currently you're in a one-bedroom apartment. As you're falling asleep, imagine you're falling asleep in your king-size bed in your 6-bedroom double-story house. Feel the relief, the relaxation, the confidence of this new position in life. Imagine you are there. Use your imagination to your advantage. Anything that happens in your life, you have created whether you like it or not. It all starts in here. Why do you think it's chakra from mind's eye status? Because it all starts in the mind's eye. Anything you could possibly want starts in the mind's eye. If you do that enough times, where you're going to sleep and you're imagining yourself in your dream house, or you're imagining yourself walking into a boardroom with total confidence, the universe has no choice but to rearrange itself to this new version of you. That is the law. That's how it works, guys. I might make more videos about this because, no exaggeration, this has been one of the most transformative concepts in my life. And there are many ways of labeling this: manifestation, law of attraction, prayer, meditation, visualization, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. The point is, mystics for thousands of years have pointed to this phenomenon. You can find evidence of this in the Bible, in the Quran, amongst many spiritual teachers. They refer to this concept. An example of a modern teacher would be Joe Dispenza. And one of my personal favorites, Neville Goddard. That's Neville Goddard. So apply it, practice it, change your situation. Don't play the victim. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and if you want help with your communication skills and with the mindset side of things from me personally and my team, you can book a call with us for free, a 10-minute communication audit where we can point out your roadblocks and create a roadmap for you. You can book that in the description below. Thank you guys. Like, comment, I'll see you next week.